Hello and welcome back to English Speaking Corner. It is so good to have you here in our quiet study space today. My name is Sarah and I am joined by my colleague Michael. We are very happy to spend this time with you. Today, we are going to focus on a very important shift in your English. We are going to talk about your day, but we are not going to use the present tense. Usually, when we learn English, we learn to say things like, I wake up, I drink coffee, or I go to work. This is good for describing a general routine, but in real life, most of our conversations are about the past. When a friend asks you how your day was, or when a colleague asks what you did yesterday, you cannot use the present tense. You need the past tense. If you say, yesterday I go to work, people will understand you, but it will not feel natural or fluent. Today, we are going to bridge that gap. We are going to take the daily actions you already know and move them into the past. We will practice the verbs, the pronunciation, and the rhythm of storytelling. This is how you move from a basic level to a more confident, intermediate level of speaking.
That is exactly right, Sarah. I often notice that students feel very confident when they talk about their habits in the present tense, but as soon as they have to tell a story about yesterday, they feel a bit lost. They might freeze up because they are trying to remember if a verb is regular or irregular. Today, we want to remove that pressure. We want to help you build muscle memory. By the end of this lesson, these past tense forms will feel like a natural part of your vocabulary. We are going to go slowly. We will give you plenty of space to listen and repeat. We want you to really feel the words in your mouth. If you are wearing headphones, that is perfect. Just find a comfortable place, take a deep breath, and let's start turning your daily routine into a story. If you enjoy this calm way of learning, please remember to subscribe to English Speaking Corner and hit the notification bell. It helps us keep creating these quiet lessons for you. Let's start with the very first thing that happens in the day. In the present tense, you say, I wake up. But for yesterday, we change that verb. Wake becomes woke. It is a small change, but it is very important. I woke up. Let's practice that together. I woke up at 7 o'clock. Now you try it. I woke up at 7 o'clock. Listen to that long O sound in woke. It sounds like the word boat or cold. Woke. I woke up. Sometimes we don't just wake up, we also stay in bed for a few minutes. We might say, I stayed in bed. That is a regular verb, which we will talk about more later. But let's focus on the irregulars first because they are the most common. After I woke up, I got out of bed. The verb get becomes got. I got out of bed. It is a short, quick sound, got. I got out of bed and I went to the kitchen.
Going to the kitchen is a big one, Michael, because the verb go is perhaps the most used verb in the daily routine. And as many of our listeners know, it changes completely. Go becomes went. This is one of those verbs you simply have to know by heart. I went to the kitchen. I went to the bathroom. I went to the office. Let's practice the sentence, I went to the kitchen. Speak it out loud with me now. I went to the kitchen. Imagine yourself walking into your kitchen yesterday morning. What did you do there? You probably made some coffee or tea. In the present, we say, I make coffee. In the past, we say, I made coffee. Make becomes made. It rhymes with the words cake or lake. I made a cup of coffee. Let's try that together. I made a cup of coffee. It feels good to say, doesn't it? It's a very satisfying verb. I made breakfast. I made a sandwich. I made a decision.
And once you have made that coffee or that breakfast, you have to consume it. This brings us to another very common irregular verb, have. In the present tense, you say, I have breakfast, or I have a coffee. But for yesterday, have becomes had. I had a large breakfast. I had a cup of tea. I had a quick snack. Let's practice that. I had a cup of tea. Repeat it slowly. I had a cup of tea. Notice how the D at the end of had can sometimes link to the next word. I had a cup. I had a cup of tea. It flows together. This is a great way to sound more natural. Instead of saying, I had a cup, try to link them. I had a cup of tea. Sarah, what about the verb eat? That is also very common in the morning.
Yes, eat is very common, and it can be a bit tricky. Eat becomes ate. It sounds exactly like the number 8. I ate an egg. I ate some toast. I ate breakfast at 8 o'clock. That is a funny sentence to practice because the words sound the same. I ate at 8. Let's try a simple one first. I ate some fruit. Now it is your turn to speak. I ate some fruit. Good. Now let's look at what happens after breakfast. Usually we have to get ready for work or for our day. We might say, I brushed my teeth. This is our first regular verb today. Brush becomes brushed. Even though it ends with the letters E and D, it sounds like a T at the end. Brushed. It's a sharp sound. I brushed my teeth. Try saying that. I brushed my teeth. Then I washed my face. Wash becomes washed. Again, that E and D sounds like a T. Washed. I washed my face. These regular verbs are so important because most verbs in English follow this pattern, but that T sound at the end can be difficult. It's like a little puff of air. Brushed, washed, walked, cooked. Let's practice another one. I dressed, or more commonly, I got dressed. Remember, get becomes got. I got dressed. I put on my clothes. Put is a special verb because it does not change at all. Yesterday, I put on my blue shirt. Today, I put on my blue shirt. It stays the same. That is a nice break for our brains, isn't it? I put on my shoes. Let's try that. I put on my shoes. Speak it clearly. I put on my shoes. And then I left the house. Leave becomes left. I left the house at 8:30. Let's try that. I left the house at 8:30. You are doing a great job. Now that we have left the house, we are moving into the middle of the day. This is usually when we are commuting or working. If you drive, you say, I drove to work. Drive becomes drove, just like wake becomes woke. I drove to work. If you take the bus, you might say, I took the bus. Take becomes took. I took the bus. Let's practice that one. I took the bus to the city center. Try it now. I took the bus to the city center. Or maybe you walked. Walk is a regular verb. I walked to the station. Remember that T sound at the end. Walked. I walked to the station. Once you arrived at work, you probably started your tasks. Arrive becomes arrived. This time, the E and D sounds like a D. Arrived. I arrived at 9 o'clock. Start becomes started. This one is different. When a verb ends in a T or a D, like start or end, we add an extra syllable. Start becomes start-ed. Started. I started work. That extra syllable in started is very important for clarity. If you just say, I start, it sounds like the present. You must say started. I started my first meeting. I started answering emails. Let's practice that. I started my work. Repeat it now. I started my work. During the day, you probably spoke to people. Speak becomes spoke. I spoke to my boss. I spoke to my friend. Let's try it. I spoke to my boss. You might also write emails. Write becomes wrote. I wrote 5 emails yesterday. Try that. I wrote 5 emails yesterday. And perhaps you read a report. Read is a very strange verb. The spelling stays the same, R-E-A-D, but the pronunciation changes. In the present, we say read, like the color green. In the past, we say read, like the color red. Yesterday, I read a book. Yesterday, I read the news. It's a bit confusing, but you will get used to it. Let's try. I read the morning news. That is a great example, Michael. I read the news. It sounds just like the color. Now let's think about lunch. Again, we can use our favorite past tense verb, had. I had lunch with a colleague. Or I bought a sandwich. Buy becomes bought. This is a tough one for many students. Bought. The G and the H are silent. It sounds like bought. I bought a sandwich. Let's try that together. I bought a sandwich. Say it one more time. I bought a sandwich. After lunch, you probably finished your work. Finish is a regular verb. It ends with that T sound again. Finished. I finished work at 5 o'clock. Let's practice. I finished work at 5 o'clock. Then you went home. Remember, went is the past of go. I went home. I took the train home. I got home at 6.
Yes, the glue is what makes you sound like a storyteller rather than just a list. Instead of saying, I woke up, I had coffee, I went to work, you can say, first I woke up, then I had coffee. After that, I went to work. It sounds much more natural. Let's try to build a small story using these connectors. I will say a sentence, and I want you to repeat it. First, I woke up and had a glass of water. Now you. First, I woke up and had a glass of water. Then I went for a short walk. Your turn. Then I went for a short walk. After that, I made a healthy breakfast. Let's hear you. After that, I made a healthy breakfast. Finally, I started my workday. Go ahead. Finally, I started my workday. Do you hear how much better that sounds? It has a rhythm. It feels like a real conversation. It really does.
And as we move into the evening, we have even more opportunities to use these verbs. Maybe you met a friend. Meet becomes met. I met my friend for a drink. Try it. I met my friend for a drink. Or you did some exercise. Do becomes did. I did some yoga. I did some cleaning. Let's practice. I did some yoga. Later in the evening, you probably felt tired. Feel becomes felt. I felt very tired. I felt happy. Let's try. I felt very tired. And then you went to bed. I went to bed at 11. I fell asleep quickly. Fall becomes fell. I fell asleep. Repeat that one. I fell asleep. This is your day. It is a series of moments that already happened. By using these past tense verbs, you are inviting someone to understand your life. Before we do a full shadowing exercise, I want to talk about a few common mistakes. One big mistake I hear is when students use the word was with a past tense verb. For example, they might say, I was go to work, or I was woke up. We don't need the word was here. You just need the past tense verb. I went to work, I woke up. Was is only used for descriptions, like I was tired or the weather was nice. If you are describing an action that happened once, just use the past tense verb. Another mistake is using the past tense with the word didn't. When we say something did not happen, we use didn't and then the present tense verb. For example, I didn't go to the gym. We don't say I didn't went. The word didn't already tells us it is the past. So I didn't eat breakfast. I didn't see my friend. Let's practice a negative sentence. I didn't stay up late. Try it. I didn't stay up late. That is such an important point, Michael. The grammar can be tricky, but if you keep it simple, you will succeed. Now we are going to do a longer shadowing exercise. I am going to tell a story of a full day, slowly and clearly. I will leave a pause after each sentence. I want you to speak the sentence out loud. Don't worry about being perfect. Just focus on the past tense verbs and the flow of the words. Are you ready? Let's begin. Yesterday, I woke up at 7 in the morning. I stayed in bed for 10 minutes. Then I got up and went to the kitchen. I made a cup of hot coffee and ate some toast. After breakfast, I washed my face and brushed my teeth. I got dressed and put on my favorite coat. I left my house and walked to the bus stop. I took the bus and arrived at work on time. I worked hard all morning and wrote many reports. At 1 o'clock, I had lunch with my colleagues. We spoke about our plans for the weekend. I finished my work at 5 o'clock and went home. When I got home, I felt a little tired. I cooked a simple dinner and watched a show on TV. Later, I read a few pages of my book. Finally, I went to bed and fell asleep. That was a beautiful story, Sarah. If you practice that along with her, you just spoke over 20 sentences in the past tense. That is a huge achievement. You should feel very proud of yourself. Remember, English is not about knowing everything perfectly. It is about being able to communicate your life to others. When you can talk about your day, you can build connections. You can share your experiences. This is why we practice. We want you to feel that confidence when you are talking to a friend or a new acquaintance. If you found that shadowing exercise helpful, you can always rewind this video and try it again. Repetition is the secret to fluency. The more you say these sentences, the more they will belong to you. We are coming to the end of our lesson today, but your practice doesn't have to stop here. We have a small challenge for you. Before you go to sleep tonight, or perhaps right now if it is already evening, try to say 3 things you did today in the past tense. You can say them to yourself in the mirror, or even just whisper them. I woke up at, I had lunch at, I went to. Just 3 simple sentences. If you do this every day, your brain will start to realize that the past tense is not a scary grammar rule, but a useful tool for your daily life. We hope this quiet study space has helped you feel more relaxed and more confident.
Thank you so much for joining us at English Speaking Corner. We truly value your time and your dedication to learning. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel. We create these lessons specifically for people like you who want to learn English in a calm, gentle way. When you subscribe and like our videos, it helps us reach more students around the world. We love hearing from you, so feel free to leave a comment and tell us one thing you did yesterday. We read all of your comments, and they make us very happy. Keep practicing, keep listening, and remember that every small step you take is bringing you closer to the speaker you want to become. Have a wonderful, peaceful day, and we will see you in the next episode. Goodbye for now, and remember to be patient with yourself. You are doing a great job. We look forward to our next lesson together. Keep speaking, keep growing, and keep shining. See you soon.